Here with Jake Swanson after an upset last lap pass win over Brady Bacon at Knoxville in the non-wing cars. Take me through that last lap. How were you able to make that happen?
I mean, the rubber can't, first of all, it goes back. It's hard to just say it was the last lap because it goes back to the yellow. When we got that yellow, I was like, man, this place is black and this could totally change the complexity of the race. I didn't expect it to take rubber that hard and that quick, but I was the first one to the rubber, especially on that restart. I got a lot of those guys because I was down there in it.
Was that run up to second?
Yeah. And it felt like I was trying not to show anybody because they were all kind of yawed out sideways, and I could run up next to them, but I didn't want to run up next to them. So I just waited until I could beat them into the corner and then let it land in the rubber. I just didn't want to show them where the rubber was because then they moved down and that's it, you know. So that was good, but by the time I got to second, Brady was checked out. I mean, I feel like he had a straightaway on me, and I knew I was faster than him, and I was counting the laps down, and at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get him, and all of a sudden, the closing rate became really quick there the last 3 laps or so, and so I was like, I'm going to catch him on the last lap. I just need to make sure my timing is right, you know, so that way I don't run him over, but I also don't show him, you know, something that's going to cost me the race. And so he kind of hung it there off of 2. In hindsight, it was that his tire was given out, and I knew we had plenty of tire left because I was kind of biding my time there early, just trying to make sure that we had a car to finish the race with, and it paid off. We had plenty of tire left, and I could hammer it, and you know, he couldn't.
Would you attribute that entire race and the win to not showing the guys where the rubber was at that time? Do you think you executed on that enough to credit it to the win, I guess?
Yeah, I would say that's a big part of it for sure. Yeah, it was certainly a big part of it. I think especially Cummins, you know, like he's good, he's smart. If I showed him and I had the opportunity to show him, I felt like he would jump down and I wouldn't probably be able to get by him, or it would have been tough to get by him at that point. So yeah, I'm sure it definitely played a big role.
When I walked up here, you were talking to Skip about how this was a Bubby Jones passing master, or not passing master, but Bobby Jones mini series race, I guess is the best. I don't have the actual pronunciation in my head of it, but it's refreshing to hear a dirt guy talk about points. You were talking about how important it was to get a good points finish tonight. Take me through kind of why it's different. I guess maybe in USAC, or just why it's different to you.
Well, you know, to be honest, I've driven for a lot of teams who've always been like, you know, don't worry about crashing, like just hammer it and go hard, and you know, there's something to be said for that when the car is there and when you're in position to win. I feel like if we're running 5th, I'm not gonna hammer it, or even there's times where even I'm running 2nd, and you just know like where the line is on the race car, and if I push it any harder, the string's gonna break, and you know, it takes your night from a nice paying, you know, a nice points paying 2nd place or down to 5th place finish to you know, you got nothing, you got to rebuild a race car. And so I've always been the type that I would rather fine tune on it. I'd rather dissect it after the fact. We could have been better here, and here. And hindsight, if we could do it all over again, I'd do these things and work from that instead of rebuilding the race car, because then you end up with, yeah, you got a shock that you didn't check out, or you got a bar that you don't know is bad. You got something screwed up because you ended up, you know, you pushed your patience, or you didn't have enough patience, and you crashed the thing. So, you know, not taking away anything from, you know, going hard. There's a time and a place when the car's there, and you know, when you're coming, you know, obviously like tonight, it was a situation where we're running 2nd. I know it's 12 grand to win. I know it doesn't pay much for 2nd place. So at the end of the day, me and Brady are going to go as hard as we need to go, and if I crash the thing in 3 and 4 because I clipped the berm, you know, you had to do it, you know. But you have